Good day, everyone, and welcome to part 6 of the basics of Unreal Engine 4 modding. In today's episode, I will show you the basics of static mesh modding, so you know how to go from this to this. In a moment, we will discuss what a static mesh is, but first let's start off by opening the folders and tools that we need to mod Unreal Engine 4 games. Oh, by the way, if you're a fan of this tutorial series, go ahead and like the video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. And in today's video tutorial, for this tutorial we will need 4 tools. So we will need Unreal Mod Unlocker so that we can load mods. We will need Unreal Engine 4 Editor. We will need UModel and we will need Blender. Okay, so this is the Unreal Editor. This is Blender. This is UModel, and I already have the unlocker installed in the session. So now, what is a static mesh? Well, very simple. A static mesh is a mesh like this. It's a mesh that doesn't have any armature, it doesn't have any bones, you can't deform it with a bone structure. It's just like vertices, faces, and UVs that you can slap a material onto and show as a mesh in a scene. And so, like most buildings and streets and everything you see around in a game, that's going to be static meshes, like a bench or like a fountain or, everything you see around, like that doesn't really move, that doesn't need any type of deforming with a bone structure. That's going to be a static mesh. So that's what we are going to mod today. Okay, so let me just delete these things here from the scene real quick. And yeah, so how do we mod static meshes? Well, it's actually very simple. If you watched our other videos, you will know the basics of how modding works in Unreal Engine games, of how replacement modding works. And today I'm going to show you how to mod a bench, a park bench. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, first of all, open up UModel, which is going to be step 1 here. And one thing you're going to need in today's video is a 3D model example. There's some type of 3D model that you want to replace. You need to find one in the game first that you want to replace, and then you need to find one that you want to replace it with. So this is what I want to replace the bench that's in the game with. So I want this to be in my game, and currently what's in the game is actually this. So this is the file I'm going to replace, and this is what's in the game, right? And this is what I want to be in the game. All right, so how do you do that? Well, first of all, download a 3D model that you need, that you want to put in the game. Then you find the 3D model that you want to replace, so let's say a bench like this. Then you go to Tools in UModel. You go to, by the way, make sure it's here, the class, make sure it says static mesh. Go to Tools, go to Options. Make sure that this is set to TGA uncompressed so you get the best texture, quality textures if you want to reuse something. And then make sure Skeletal Mesh and Static Mesh here is set to GLTF. Yeah, click on OK. And then you go up to Export Current Object. Click that, hit OK. Now if you go into UModel here, in the UModel export, you will find, boom, that we have exported this GLTF. And here we have the bench. Okay. So that's step 1, right? That's the first part of how we do this. Now, the next part is replacing this with the one we have. But we need to make sure that these line up, that they're in the same space, in like the 3D object space. So what we need to do is we need to load them, both this model and this model, into Blender, and make sure that they align in they're in the same space. So go in here, by the way, copy this path, go into Blender, and hit import, and go to GLTF 2.0, copy the path, double click, and there we go. So now we can see the bench. We have it here in Blender. Right. Now, the next part is going in here again and going to the bench that we want to import. So this is going to be the EB Hipster bench 1. So I'm going to go into File, Import, FBX, and I'm going to import this. Right, so these line up pretty well here, but what can happen is that let's say here that this is so let's say that this right here, this bench, is over here, right? What you need to do is you need to line these up. So you can go into edit mode and you can line them up like this so that you know that they'll be, somewhat in the same place, like in game. So what I'm trying to do here is just line up the legs a bit. I'm going to do it from the bottom here. So something like this, right? Maybe a little bit like that. So something like that. So when they line up, you can kind of change, the scale and a lot of stuff. But when they line up like this, for instance, all you do is click on the original bench that we don't need, delete it from the scene, and then you click export on the project here. Click FBX. Now I want to export this to this folder right here where we have the file already, and I want to give it the same name. So I'm going to copy this name, STM bench. I'm going to copy that name, and I'm going to hit export FBX. Okay, so now we have an FBX right here with the same name as the original, but it's this bench instead. Okay, so what do we do with that? Well, what we need to do now is you can delete the GLTF like that. You can go out, back to game here, which is the content folder. And then what you can do is you can go into the project, mod project. You drag and drop this art folder. Just hit import all here. Okay. So now we will have art environment, we will have the whole path and the bench. So currently this bench is going to look like this. Now this is just a white bench. It's not very good looking, but we're going to fix that. So to do that, what we can do here is let's go to the README on this mesh. So hipster bench made to be used within Unreal. Okay, that's great. Materials PBR compliant, great to use in a game or architecture render. So here it says color map as EB metal shelf C. So that's C. That's the color. Roughness map is in the red channel of EB Hipster Bench G. Metal map is in the green channel, and normal map is in EB Hipster N for normal. Okay, so let's remember that here. So here we have C for color, and G, that's like the maps, and then N is the normal. So we are going to import those. So let's make a folder, call them text or texture, whatever. Drag these in here. Okay, hit save all. Now, let's load up the material here. So I'm going to have these side by side. And let's see. Let's do this. So go to the textures and highlight them and drag them in to our material here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to convert these to parameters. Can give this the name, oops, what did I do now? Good God. Color, what is this? This is like the maps, I think. So let's just call this like maps or something. This is going to be normal. So let's plug in the normal. Let's plug in the color here. Now, what did it say? It said that the roughness map is in the red channel. So the red channel here is going to go to roughness. And then the green channel is metallic, right? And there's the wood part. Okay. So now we're going to apply. We're going to save. And we're going to look at this in the scene here. And there we go. We have this bench. Yeah. So I think that's correct. Red roughness, green metallic, red green. Yep. So that's it. I'm pretty sure. Just gotta make sure this is the right one. Yep. Yeah. So now that we have this mesh set up, and it has the same name as the one in the game. So this has the same name as the one right here in this path, right? It's the same path and the same name here. Now we can call the material and the textures whatever we want because they're being referenced by this. Now all we have to do is save everything here and go to File and Cook for Windows. So I already have the cooked folder open here, and I have the content folder right there. So I'm going to copy the art folder from the cooked into the content folder of the game. And now I'm going to start the game. And we are going to see here if it loads this bench up. Might take a while to load. I haven't loaded anything up, any Unreal Engine games, right? Especially this game, I haven't loaded up since I restarted my PC, so it takes a while to do the caching, as always. Okay. Hey, okay. Can already see it there to the left. So yeah, it's right here. That's the bench, but oh, never mind. It has collision. Okay, that's cool. Didn't think it would have collision, but because it didn't give it any complex collision. I'll show you how to do that too. So, as you can see, it works. And yeah, So as you can see here, it works. And still have the mods from the old tutorials too. So yeah. Now, one thing I forgot to show you here when you import a mesh like this. Now, if you want to give this collision, what you can do is double click it, and you can go down here to collision, and no, wait, where is it? Why is this so weird right now? Here it is. So right here, you can set the collision complexity. You can do something like use complex collision as simple. And that will then force this to use the complex collision. Basically, it calculates the collision from the mesh itself. And then you just hit save. And that'll give you complex collision. So you can stand on this and everything works. So yeah. I would assume that this is what you need to know. This is the majority of what you need to know to mod static meshes. It's really very simple. It's one of the most simple mods you can do, really. Once you know how things like materials and all that other stuff, textures and materials work, but yeah, it's a very simple mod. And everything you really need to know to mod, to make very complex stuff, is you need to know how to use a 3D modeling software. Now, I do not know how to use 3D modeling software at all, basically, which is why I don't personally do these mods. I know how to do them, of course, you know, but theoretically, but I am not the person to teach 3D modeling. So go on YouTube and look up Blender tutorials and learn how to do 3D modeling. There is a million tutorials. So yeah, I think it's very self-explanatory here, and I would say that's all for today. Actually, it's a pretty short video, but it's a very simple subject. So thank you so much for watching. In the next video, I am actually going to take a look at skeletal meshes. I'm going to show you how to rig a character and get any type of character to work in sessions. So if you find some character from another game or online, you can use that in any other game as well. So I'm going to show you how to do that in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.